What's going on, guys? Cam Dasani. I'm here with potential client George Rodriguez, who met me through a mutual friend. We actually have a lot of mutual friends that we just
Right.
found out about in the Bay Area. And what we're here to talk about today is his process for getting involved with my futures done for you trading system and what that actually takes. He's in the process right now of getting not his credit repaired, but getting funding through his credit score so he can basically be able to afford the investment for the program and ultimately change his life. So, George, this conversation is really for you. Get anything you want off your chest, any questions you want answered, and we'll just go from there.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. So yeah, I've been through this situation before. I've been through a process similar to this, and I had to come out here to meet you in person because I've been scammed before,
Mm.
and so and that was through a mutual friend closer to home, and so I've always been skeptical. Now I know this stuff works. I know trading. I've seen bank accounts. I've seen it all, but when it comes to actually it benefiting me, there's always questions.
Mm.
What if you take my money? What if I never hear from you again? What if you disappear? Luckily, we're both from the Bay Area, so I could find you easily,
Very easily.
very easily.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. I'm not going in this with like, negative thoughts. Oh, because what happened in the past, it's going to happen again. No, but obviously, I want to do more research, get to know you better, more on a personal level and business
Sure.
level, and then you know basically answer all my questions. This way, I have no fears moving forward and investing and working with you.
Absolutely. And guys, just for context, George knows a lot of people that I know. So when he says like it's not hard to find me, like it's really not. Like I'm not hiding from anybody. He's literally here in my hotel room while I'm traveling because he made the effort to drive up 2 hours from where he's at, not to reveal where you're at, or where you're from. But he came out here to fit my schedule essentially because and this is not an invitation for anybody and everybody to meet me in person whenever they want. It just happens to be that I'm traveling somewhere that's 2 hours away from him and I had a few hours and I said, bro, pull up and like let's talk. You know what I mean? Because he's already started the process to get funding for the program. So he's serious, right? For people that are in my DM saying, oh, I want to just like meet you in person and like just do nothing, I don't have that type of time nor bandwidth. And I hope that makes sense. But I'm here for George today because I want him to get his questions answered and feel confident and comfortable moving forward.
Thank you. And I've never been afraid of investing, right? So if it takes me to drive 2 hours to meet you, because I'm looking to invest not only for myself but for my brother,
Mm.
for my daughter, for any family members, friends, and I know a lot of people. So with that being said, like once it benefits me and I see that it works and it's 100%, like the amount of clients that I could send you,
Mm.
if it's going to change my life, bro, I'm willing to listen and I'm willing to take the chance and the opportunity to see where it goes.
Absolutely. And that's, guys, look at what just happened, right? He's offering value. A lot of people want to come and simply take value and wonder why they don't have a network that makes sense. I think where I want to segue from here is I have different options, right? I have my private fund, which is pending registration with the SEC right now. I have our futures program and I have our options program, which is our lowest tier, but still a very, very good option depending on who you are. What are you kind of leaning towards right now? And like, if anything, and like what questions do you have about maybe different programs or like what could be the best fit for you?
At first, I was looking into the program. I think it's is it features or futures with the $25,000 program
Yeah.
because I'm not great with computers. So,
Oh,
I'm like
you're talking about private fund.
private fund.
Okay.
Okay. And so I'm thinking like if there's actually a lot of computer stuff that needs to go into this, like that's not my thing. I'd rather just let you take control and do your thing. Make the magic happen. But if it's something that you can teach me, even somebody with, as computer illiterate as myself, um to benefit from what you're doing and copy your trade, and if it's that simple, then I will take that route, because then it's something that I could pass on to my brother and to my daughter and so on. and talk to them more about it, and show them like what it's doing, and basically the results. Right, everything is result driven. So once they see the results, then it's game on. It's green light.
So what I would recommend, and I'm going to see how we're going to have to edit this because I forgot the SEC lawyers basically said you cannot publicly market the private fund. So that's fine. We'll just I can say that. I don't think that we'll figure it out. But anyways, um, what I think would be best for you based on what you just said, not being good with computers, is our options program, not our futures program. The futures program requires you to sit behind a screen from 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern, 3 to 5 days a week, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist or an engineer, but like you need to have computer skills. I think that's a big step. Whereas I think options is not only a lower upfront investment, but it's very very easy to do. And like you don't have Robinhood on your phone, do you? Okay. So on Robinhood, bro, it literally takes 30 seconds to execute an options trade. And you don't even have to look at it for the rest of the day because the way we trade options in our program is swing trading. Guys, for beginners that don't understand what the hell I'm saying, what I'm saying is there are different ways to trade stocks, and we have different programs that teach you how to do different things depending on what you want, right? So when he says, I'm not great with computers and like so on and so forth, I would recommend he start with our options program because he's going to be profitable in the first month with literally the effort of go on Robinhood, click the stock you want that we tell you, click trade options, and choose the trade. And that literally takes 30 seconds, and the learning curve is 5 minutes. Like if you can log into Instagram and like make a post, you can trade options.
And that's exactly what I'm looking for. Like I got hooked up with another buddy of mine from the Bay Area, and for the last month, like I told him from the beginning. I said, "Look, man, I just want to know when to press buy, when to press sell, what it is that you're trading, whether it's gold, whether it's Nas 100, whatever. Just I want to press it and then exit it when it's time to exit. That's it." He's like, "Yeah, yeah, for sure, bro. It's been a month." And it's like, okay, hey, watch these videos, watch this videos, watch
Mm,
this. And I'm like, but if the videos were about trading, that'd be one thing. But it's like it's a whole nother business where they're like trying to build teams and they're trying to do this. I was like, bro, how many times do I gotta tell you? I don't I'm not interested in that stuff.
yeah.
Just the trading. And
Yeah.
so basically that's what I want to comes down to. So the options program looks like the program for me
Yes.
and for my brother, and even for my daughter as well. And that's it. We just want to know when to press buy, when to press sell. I'm assuming, are you going to give us the trade to like the which one to,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
and,
So
and then like with the other trading, it's like you enter lots, right? Lots, size. Is that part
no,
of options too? So lots are taken out of it.
no. This is very simple, man. There's calls and puts. A call means we're predicting a stock is going to go up by a certain date. A put means we're predicting it's going to go down by a certain date. We make our profits when I say swing trading. That just means not day trading. Day trading means we're buying and selling same day. Swing trading means we buy on Monday, we sell on Friday, for example. Okay. So as soon as you enter on Monday, which takes, like I said, literally 30 seconds, my phone is recording, so I can't show you on my phone while I do this. But 30 seconds to enter, 30 seconds to sell. As long as you have your phone in your pocket and you have your notifications on, I will alert you on when to buy and sell. That's it. If you want to do more, meaning you want to learn the strategies and so on, we offer one class a week with our lead trader who will basically teach you why we buy and sell what we buy and sell and why it works and the history and everything you need to see to feel confident. But some people don't want to do that. Some people just look at this like you're saying, buy and sell, make money.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I like I said, I've had a little bit of practice with the day trading before, and it's like they're marking up charts. They're going from the 5 hour to the 4 hour to the 2 day to 15 minutes, and I'm like, bro, every time they're talking, I'm like trying to go back and forth, and it never clicked for me. So I don't
Yeah.
know if this is now the future is the other option, right? When you have to have a little bit of computer knowledge, is there some of that in what you're doing
No.
with?
So based on everything you're saying, bro, futures is not the right move for you. based on what you want and based on what you're saying, you need to do options because it is like anybody can do it, bro. Like I have actual autistic people in my group making money, and they're very dumb. And not saying autistic people are dumb, by the way. Just saying that autistic people that I'm talking about in my group are not mentally all the way there, hence autistic, hence autism, and they're still making money because I hold their hand and help them click the buttons they need to click to win.
That's exactly what we're looking for. And maybe in time, there might be, an opportunity to do the futures and learn more about it. Now, I'm assuming, and I don't know, but what are the price ranges are different? Like obviously between options and futures, and you probably make more money in the futures. But what's that range?
Yeah, great question. So with options, it is totally contingent on your budget. So we have people in the options group. We have 60 plus active members right now in options. We have people in there with $1,000. We have people in there with $2,000. The median that you want to kind of be in is like that 5 to 10K to play with range. If you have 5K, we can get into a lot of trades early and really start like doubling your money pretty quickly. 5 becomes 10 within a matter of 30, 40 days. That's what we've seen on average. I'm not making any claims or guarantees. That's what we've seen. If you only have a couple of grand, we can still get into a few trades, but you're better off leveraging your credit to get more capital so you can actually trade with.
And that's what I was going to ask, right? With the business funding that I get, can I use that business funding to open the account and fund the account? So if I get $30,000 of business funding, I can put $20,000 in that. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. And guys, if you don't have good credit, that's why I ask you in the DMs 2 questions. What do you have to invest? And what's your credit like? Because if your credit is dog shit and you're also broke, that means you're at the bottom, which means the only way to go is up. So we can repair your credit, get you the funding that you need to then actually make money. When people turn that down, it's like, well, the other option is stay poor and stay with shit credit. So which one do you want? Right? And the fact that people to me sometimes can't comprehend that is very insane. But that's why you're here because you already have the credit. You just need to sit and use it. Most people use credit as an excuse to or not as an excuse, but basically just to tell their friends they have good credit. Yeah, I have an 800 credit score. Cool. What did you make last year? 70K. Okay. Sounds like a pretty good flex to me, right? Like it doesn't make sense. You're sitting on a gold mine to tell other people that are lower middle class that or middle class. Nothing wrong with being middle class, but most people want to be rich. They just pretend like they don't care because it fits their narrative. No, I don't care about money, bro. No. You don't care about something that you don't know anything about. You want to be rich. He drove 2 hours because he wants to be rich. You won't fucking get on a Zoom call. Right? So like, and I'm speaking to people that know who they are, right? It's like, but we are making a ton of money helping a ton of people and getting renewals every year because of people like you who actually want to win.
And to talk about the credit part of it, right? My credit score is decent. It's like mid 700s, 750, 760, 770. It's in that area. And so, it's like what Cam said. You have credit, but what are you doing with that credit? If it's just sitting there, it's not doing you any good. Use that credit to get the business funding. Now, with my case, I thought my credit was good, but when we checked it, this is why you got to check your credit report with somebody who is, has the intelligence and know-how of what they're seeing. Is I had 10 inquiries on my credit report. 3 of them were mortgages. Seven others were like bullshit. I went to go look for a car. They ran my credit. I went to uh, uh, a mall. They ran my credit. So whatever the case is, right? You're going to have inquiries. You want to get those inquiries off. Leave the mortgages, but just get rid of the bullshit inquiries. Once you get rid of that, and I got a couple of guys. Shout out to my guy Rich and shout out to my guy Sean. These 2 guys can help with their credit, very affordable prices. And what they're going to do is they'll look up your credit with you. right? And they'll review it and they'll let you know what they see, what they can do. And basically, what I'm using my credit for is to get that business funding, right, and to pay for the options. But I'm also going to so my brother and my daughter don't have the best credit, right? But I just paid Rich to help my brother get his credit up. So now he's going to get his credit up and he can get his business funding. We're going to do the same thing with my daughter. Or I might use the business credit that I get, the business funding, and then just pay for my brother and my sister so that they can start their journey earlier and they don't have to wait for the process. And then once they get their funding, then, they can take me out to dinner or something. But, ultimately, I'm going to use my money, my credit to get the business funding, to get the money so I can create money quicker.
Exactly. And that's the mindset that allows people like George to become successful. And you're going to see, like, in the next year, we'll do another video like this. And he's going to talk about his results. But typically, you don't see a lot of testimonials with potential clients because nobody's thinking like that. Because no founder like myself, most of them aren't willing to put in that time. This just happened to work out, right? And I see your vision, and I appreciate, like, you've been great at communication, very transparent. He was on time today. He was early actually, and I was late to him being early because I was finishing up a task and he was waiting down in the lobby, right? But the point is, like, whether it doesn't matter, guys, like, whoever's watching this video, like, whether you decide to work with me or not, because I'm already rich. My whole thing is, I know that there's a way to impact people through the internet. My success rate with clients is extremely high. The people that fail in my programs either pick the wrong program because they don't take my advice. For example, I had somebody that I told, just like you should do options. And he was like, no, I lost 10 grand trading options before. I'm like, okay, well, you've also had your heart broken by a girl. So are you going to go gay? So just because you lost money, like, you can lose money buying a house. Are you never going to buy a house? You can die crossing the street. Are you never going to, like, what do you mean? Like, you can't just say things and that can be your reason. So, like, he did futures, even though I told him do options. He was very set on doing futures. He wanted to pay for it. I was like, all right, man. Well, like, I'm telling you, this is going to be harder than you think. But if you really are set on it, I'm going to let you do it. He came in and he complained a lot. He didn't show up to calls. He didn't copy the trades. He did his own thing, which was weird as hell. I was like, okay. And then he tried to gaslight us into thinking, like, oh, it's our fault. But I'm like, dude, like, on the same day that you're complaining, we have people making 4 grand in a day. So, like, how? Like, and keep in mind, I have a company with a team of 7. So I'm detached from the fulfillment. So I'm watching the call recordings after the fact, and I'm like, bro, he's not doing what we're telling him to do. Yeah. But once again, you actually said, you're like, hey, I'm not that computer savvy. So I'm giving you the path. If you decide to throw 25 grand at me for my futures program, I'm not going to say no. Yeah. But, like, I advised him the same I'm advising you. So please listen. Right?
Absolutely. And, it's you do have to take some accountability and risk as going forward. It's like going to the gym. If you have a gym trainer, you know, they're telling you, hey, do 10 reps of this at 25 pounds. But if you try to throw 75 pounds on there and blow out your hamstring or blow out a muscle, like, you didn't listen to your trainer. You got to listen to your mentor, right? And that's one thing, I live in San Diego now. So that's when he says I'm 2 hours away. I'm from the Bay Area, moved to San Diego last year. And driving 2 hours to me to potentially change my life, like, and change the lives of my family, my friends, 2 hours wasn't nothing. So I'm happy to come. And, you know, ultimately, like, you have to be teachable. And that's one thing that I learned when I moved to San Diego is, the word proximity. Get in the room with the right people, with the people that are doing what you want to do. Get in the room with those people. And it's not enough to get into the room. You got to learn how to stay into the room. And you learn how to stay into the room by offering value. Before you ask something, offer something. So, that's, wise words that, I learned about last year, man. It's like, bro, always offer something, before you ask.
And speaking of that, that's exactly why I'm here. So for guys that don't know, I split time between the Bay Area and LA. But I'm in LA right now because I'm going to Ty Lopez's mansion party in Beverly Hills. Why am I doing that? And what did I do to offer Ty value? Obviously, he charges for that. I paid. Okay. Why? Because I want to be in a room with Ty and other people. I also paid for his VIP package. My partner from Charlotte, North Carolina, is flying out to LA today as I'm filming this video to be my plus one because we want to network with people that are above us, that are above our level, that are out of our league. To, to bat above your weight class, you need to sometimes pay to play. There's a reason why he's getting funding to pay to play, right? So there's levels to this shit. And I even told Ty, we had a one-on-one call as part of the package that I paid for. And I said, listen, you are one of the best marketers and customer acquisition specialists on the planet. I have one of the best services on the planet. Let's come together. Instead of a 15-minute call, it turned into a 45-minute call because I offered him value because it's something that can align with what he wants, which is to market something valuable. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about when I'm at his house throughout the weekend. And he said, yeah, you can come into the private client rooms and be with my private clients and let's see what we can make happen, right? And whether something happens with him or not, like it doesn't actually matter. Like it's about the opportunity, right? And like if it doesn't work, okay, it doesn't work. Okay.
Quick fun fact: I've been doing personal security for about 22 years, right? And when I moved down to San Diego, I got hired to do personal security for a certain mentor, internet guru, person out there that was, has an internet business and so on. And we actually went to Ty Lopez's mansion party, say about maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago. So I've been there. Beautiful home. He's cool. Backyard, beautiful, everything. It's nice. So you'll have a good time there. I've been there.
There we go. I'm excited. So you're already a, a proven example of somebody that has invested in themselves, right? So yeah, man. I mean, what we're at 20. It's great. Yeah, we're at 22 minutes. What other questions can I kind of answer for
Um, Honestly, bro, I'm just excited to start. I'm excited to learn, because the program that I have was like day trader and stuff. I don't know if that's still the program that you guys use.
you? Mm-hmm.
Is there like a broker that you guys go through? Like, obviously, all those questions will get answered as we move forward in the process. But this looks to be a little something different. So I'm definitely going to be definitely new to this. And yeah, just bro, it's invest in self development. If you really want to change your lives, you have to invest in self development.
Look, I paid $600 a week for a personal trainer and nutritionist that has completely transformed my body. I think I'm like 7 weeks in. I went from skinny fat to six pack and the chest. Arms are still coming in, but like don't whoever I'm speaking to right now, don't sit here and act like I don't practice what I preach. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars to become a millionaire. Fitness, relationships, communication, investing, my trading team, finding the traders that I have. If you knew how much work that took, you would understand why I'm where I'm at. You would understand why to my checking account, as of today, I just made a YouTube video that I put out today. It says 123 grand. That's to my account in July, meaning not even my trading accounts that are still actively trading. That's just what I've withdrawn. No, it's too good to be true. Why? Why not? Like, you see Ferraris are being sold in Beverly Hills. So who's buying them? People like me. I'm not doing it yet because I'm like, fuck, that's my dream car. I can delay my gratification to continue to reinvest in myself until I'm making way more than 123 grand a month, which is what most people make in a year. That I used to work in corporate with not that long ago, man. And guess what? Those guys don't really talk to me anymore because they can't stand it. They fucking can't.
Hating. Yeah.
They can't stand that you drove 2 hours today. They just can't. And it's because, but guess what they told me when we were working corporate? This sucks. I want something different. Damn, you're doing your thing online, Cam. I was doing because I was doing part time, right? I was doing it both at first. I wish I could do what you could do. You can. You just aren't. Right? I don't respect that. So if you're watching this and you think like you're my boy and boom, 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 ask yourself, are you really? Are you even really my boy? Because You were only fucking with me when I was on your level. Now I make more in a month than you made last year, and we'll make this year. Of course, you can either be upset or you can join me. I've texted you guys. I've said, come fuck with me. You won't, and that's fine. People like him will. To answer your question, in terms of brokerages, for options, bro, it's just Robinhood. It's one app on your phone. It's the most user-friendly way to trade options, and the learning curve is literally 5 to 10 minutes. And once you're doing it, bro, you're just gonna make money. You're not gonna make daily money. It's swing trades. So you're gonna make weekly, monthly profits. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I know it's different for everybody depending on what you're in, but on an average, let's say somebody comes in with a $10,000 funded account, or what you're trading 10,000, right? What are typically ballpark averages that person is making monthly?
Yeah. So we can grow, and what we've done with a 10 grand account, we can get it to 50K within 6 months, usually. And then depending on how much you're withdrawing and how much you're keeping in, right? Like, I mean, we can get a 10 grand account to 100K a year.
Now, if you do, let's say you get it to 50 grand, 75,000, 100,000, right? Um, is it better to, how would I say this? One, you probably want to create an LLC, right? And this is business money, so it's going to go into a business account. Two, if you take that money out, is it better to grow your account and then use that a bigger funded? Now from 10,000, you got 50,000 in the account, or 100,000 in the account. Now you can trade, I guess, trade more,
Yeah.
right? So it's like sitting at a poker table, right? Yep. If you got $1,000, you want to bet 500, 600, but now if I got 10,000, now I can bet 2,000, 3,000, right? Yes. And you can grow your account quicker and faster that way because you have more in. But I mean, you may want to, even if you want to take out $4,000 a month just to fund your living expenses, you know what I mean? Mortgages, car notes, whatever the case may be, right? Yeah. But you leave most of it in the account so you're growing it so you can trade more to make more.
So I love it. See, this is already thinking like a business person should. So with options, you buy contracts. What that means is you're basically deciding how many times you want to bet on this bet. So, like you said, at the poker table, right? You put, or black. What is the one where you throw it on black and red? Stock road. I don't gamble. I'm an investor. I don't gamble.
I don't gamble either.
There's the red or black.
Is
it baccarat?
No, is it?
No.
Craps?
No, craps is the dice.
Is the dice, right?
Okay, whatever. The point
is it the one, the spinning wheel? The spinning wheel. Roulette.
Is it roulette? Okay.
Roulette.
If it's roulette, don't quote us. I think it's roulette. You can bet black or red. Yeah. With options, you can say, how much do I want to bet on this guess? Okay. When you have more money, you can make bigger bets. Right. So instead of betting $2,000, example, on one Tesla contract, which basically says, I'm predicting that Tesla is going to go to this price by this date. Instead of one bet, I can make 3 bets now. Right. So the more money you have, the more money you can make or lose. There's risk. But if anybody that gets on a Google Meet with me and I show them 6 months of trading results, just take the time for the call. I will go through 6 months of trading. You will see 90% success rate. Oh, how is that possible? Well, there's people on Wall Street doing it. My team is Ex-Goldman Sachs. Makes sense. You can't just say, like, I'm a YouTube random person. We have the resume. We have the credibility. We have the results.
Yeah, and, ultimately, like, I think fear is what stops many of us, are not having the money, right? Well, I would do it if I didn't have the money. That's why business funding is so pivotal and crucial. If you have decent credit and good credit, you can get business funding. You can have the money. You may not have it right now, but you can get it very quickly. Or you can start working on your credit to get that business funding. So money's not an issue. You sitting on your hands is the issue. So ultimately, people want, it's like anything, it's a results driven, right? He didn't pay me to come here. I'm here to learn because I want to know, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And ultimately, like, that's why I'm gonna invest with Cam and let him teach me, mentor me, whatever the case is, and grow that account.
And guys, Alex Hormozy said this, and it stuck with me. He said it recently too. It's not like an old quote. He said, "You just need to play the game long enough for luck to find you." And whatever like mojo Christian, like I don't care if you're Christian or Muslim or whatever you are, but like if you're spiritual to some extent, you need to understand that luck found me when I found my traders. Luck found me when I kept running ads until I figured out how to run ads. Luck found me when I sold software to B2C services for 8 years. Eventually, luck found me. And honestly, whoever's watching this video, luck has found you if you're watching this still. Because there is no one I can't help. Meaning, if you have dog shit credit and a couple $100s, we can still get you to where you need to be. The problem is most of you won't take the step. You will not fix your credit. You will just say, nah, it's not important. I'll just fucking jag off all day. Okay. Well, that's why you're poor and a loser. Okay? Then there's the next level. People that have credit but maybe don't have a bunch of money. You? Okay? He's taking the steps. He is going to win. I will make sure he wins. And we will film another video in 6 months and another one in 12 months, and he'll be at the client retreat next summer. So fuck off. Like, there's nothing else to say. Like, and then there's people that have the money and the credit, and they typically do something about it. Most people that get on a Google Meet with me decide to work with me because they cannot argue with results. Some people though talk themselves out of it. I had a guy I talked to today who he did have the money and the credit. He did. He had both, but he was such a scared guy. And I said, "Hey man, I'm not gonna say his name. How long have you been watching me trade?" He said 2 years. I said, "What the fuck? So you've been thinking about this for 2 years?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "And you still can't make a decision? That's why you're broke and that's why I'm rich, right? Because you can't make decisions." Like, and if you want to learn how to make decisions better, start making decisions faster. Like, even if it's shit that doesn't matter. Like, for example, I was at a mastermind in August a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Hey man, like we should film some content sometime." He's like, "Do you want to do it now?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, why not? We're here. Why schedule another time? We're here. Why not make the decision now?
Action takers, you know, you're an action taker, you will be successful. Um, Even as an action, you're going to lose sometimes. I've probably lost way more money than I even want to mention without jumping out windows. Like I felt like jumping out windows. You know what I
You've
mean?
been scammed, right?
I've been
So have I.
scammed. I've been scammed. Thousand. I don't even want to mention how
I've
much
been
I've been scammed.
scammed. I've been scammed for 8 grand back in like 2018, 2019, I want to say. I just gave this guy money, bro, with no contract, zelled the money with no contract, and I like kept zelling him because he kept acting like there were more fees. And I don't know why I was so naive and stupid, but I'm like, now I realize I'm like, I didn't teach my clients how to not get scammed. I'm like, look, bro, we have a DocuSign that we have to guarantee these results or else you get your money back.